Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Straight Outta BPS podcast with Rudy and Jamari. I am Rudy, and as usual, is the one and only.
Jamari Jones, everybody. We are back,
We
baby.
are back. We are back. Before we get started, um, just want to do shout outs to people who've been riding with us, listening to us. If you notice, we did not drop an episode on the 8th, right?
Yeah, the
Because
eighth.
we twice a month on the second and fourth Monday of the month. Um, when we do whatever project you're doing, you gotta make sure you're okay. And we've been it's been so busy and so
Yeah,
overwhelming this past few days that we could not find the time to make it happen.
yeah,
And we didn't want to half-ass it, but also we had to prioritize our mental health.
yeah.
It was a lot.
And we both work in like areas where it's required that we give a lot.
Yeah,
So and so it's very hard. It's very hard. So we had to prioritize our mental health and
yeah,
working with students and being in a service driven field where like you're in it all the time is tough.
yeah. It is tough. Yeah.
But but we back.
We
We back.
back.
We back.
If lesson learned is just like one, always prioritize yourself. And
Yeah.
and one thing that we know when we're doing this, we're not looking for perfection because we're learning. You
Yeah.
know, although it was like, damn, we're not gonna drop an episode, and it was hard, like, how we're gonna do about it. Even like to get together and like communicate how we're gonna do about it. It was hard because we're
It
being
was hard.
so well, we back.
Yes, sir.
Back. We looking to close out the semester strongly. And yeah,
Yeah. And I'm just glad to be back. To be honest, I feel rejuvenated. I
yeah,
feel like very positive. Though these few weeks have been like hard,
yeah,
especially in our field, like around
yeah,
Thanksgiving and December is busy, college
yeah,
stuff, and then also just mental health stuff with kids and families. They're always in need. Like
yeah,
there is just a lot of stuff going on right now. And
yeah,
then it being a COVID year and we're coming back, it's just there's a big need everywhere.
yeah.
And it's been really tough, but I'm glad to be back. Just wanted to say, thanks everybody again. Rudy already said it. People that have been sticking it out with us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook. Follow us, Instagram, Straight Out of BPS Pod. Um, like you can find us everywhere. Please share this podcast with with everybody, especially if you know educators, BPS alum, teachers, anybody. We want to share this podcast, help it grow organically, and make this a big thing. So I appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody. So with that being said, Rudy, how you doing now? You good?
I am good. Yeah, last week was like we had a 1 day off, Veterans
Hmm.
Day.
Yep.
Thank you for everyone who served for the service. We truly appreciate it.
Yep.
But it's always that awkward thing, like on that Friday, like can we have the can we have the Friday off still? So I wanted to take the Friday off. I put it in my calendar that I'm gonna take the Friday off. And then I got an email about a PD. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to be part of that PD. Like, let me come in.
Hmm.
Needless to say, I should have taken that Friday off because on Monday, so I usually wake up at 4 in the morning to go
Hmm.
to the gym and work out. And my body shut down at 4 a.m. in the gym. I could not do anything.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
it's time to go.
it's time to go. So
Yeah.
I went. I know it was the COVID. I got tested. It was negative, but I know it was a COVID. And surprisingly, that was. I don't think I've said that on the podcast. Maybe like brush it off a little bit, but um, I had COVID a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the ICU. And on the 15th, that Monday when my body shut down, was
Yeah.
the day I got out of the hospital
Wow.
a year ago,
That's scary.
which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, like I wanted to take because I was like, yo, I'm gonna celebrate that day and everything, but I wanted to take a day off on Friday to rest and get ready.
Yeah.
And I didn't take the day off on Friday, and throughout the weekend between Aaron and other stuff, other and events that I went through, um, I never had a time to relax. And on Monday, my body forced me to relax.
Yeah.
So it was, and I spent the whole day on and on sleeping throughout the night. But the next day, I woke up for air. I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready, and I go to work, got work done. It was tired again, but that's the nature. But it was just like, listen, like I don't want to ever be in a position where my
Yeah.
body is forcing me to take a rest.
Yeah.
Like yeah. But I'm doing better. It's
That's
a
good.
beautiful Saturday. The weather is blessing us with some good like sunshine. The sun is going, so
Yeah.
winter's coming. Yeah, it's a good day.
I'm glad to hear that, man. I am so glad. Um, so let's get into the views on the latest news, man.
Yo, what we got?
We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, what we starting
So
with?
we're gonna start with the Curly Middle School shutdown.
Ooh,
Yeah. So as you know, or if you have not heard, so the Curly Middle School had to be, well, yeah, had to be shut down because of a COVID outbreak. Um, so it's kind of interesting. Jeffrey Riley, the commissioner of DESE, Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, allowed the school to be closed for a few days and planning to reopen back on the 22nd of November. Apparently, there was like the COVID outbreak resulted in 46 cases, which is a lot.
yeah,
Um,
lot.
but we got to think this is a middle school.
Yeah,
Kids play around, they're on top of each other. And me working in the school, it's already hard enough to remind students, pull up your mask, make sure you're,
yeah,
washing your hands, doing this, doing that. It's like a constant reminder. So I can relate to that.
yeah.
But in the article, it talked about, one of the quotes was, that that Jeffrey Rowley said was, I'm particularly concerned that remote learning will not fully meet the academic and social emotional needs of students, especially students with disabilities, or English learning and other vulnerable students.
No
Meaning that,
doubt.
huh?
You're fully concerned, but in person will not for the safety and well being.
Yes. So this is the thing, right? Like he's saying that he doesn't want the school to be shut down for as long as it's going to be, because he doesn't feel like the like remote learning is going to be valuable for students that have these I guess vulnerable disabilities, or stuff like that. On the other hand, families are like, Commissioner, what are you doing? Like, we have to put the health and safety of others before this. And then the Boston Teachers Union also mentioned that we shouldn't be playing politics right now. It's
Yeah,
about the safety and health of our students, our families, our
yeah.
friends, our colleagues. So it's kind of like back and forth. For me, I have a perspective from in like working in a school, right? I feel that remote learning would be best if there's an outbreak. One, because if you have an outbreak already and people have to stay home, whether it's teachers or students or administration, like the school's not going to run efficiently anyway, because there's going to be subs in the building. Students are going to be out anyway, so it really makes no sense to like keep the school running if you have the remote option, right? Like, because the I've been in the school where people are calling out, or COVID symptoms. Someone had COVID or something like that. Like when the teacher's out, that's a disruption. Or if a staff member is out, that's a disruption in the flow of the school. That's one less body to help navigate kids to the right classroom. So I really think the commissioner might have to think about this in a different way, and I think that he's not working in the school.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
So so here's my thing with the situation. It's just like um remote learning sucks, right?
right.
We
Mm-hmm.
we know it's like nobody wants, especially for kids. We want them to interact with other kids, like we want them to be present, like but the fact of the matter that if you couldn't contain it once,
Mm,
how you gonna contain it again? And we're
yeah.
talking about young kids, like it's so interesting because it's not like it's not like people want to be in person,
Mm-hmm.
want to be remote, but it's like what I meant, and I'm pretty sure the school was following
COVID protocols.
COVID protocol. They did everything they can do. One of the thing I think was that I think they shut down for more than 10 days, and they still shut down, and
Mm-hmm.
they only get approved for 4 days towards the 180-day school, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like it's not fair because one, it's this is life and death.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you forcing them to come back to be
Mm-hmm.
in an environment
Mm-hmm.
where they're not comfortable coming back. It's just like let's brush it off and come back. No,
Mm-hmm.
people have to be in the right state of mind to trust that building, like they can be in that building and to trust that they can contain it.
Yeah.
Where's the work for that part, right?
Yeah.
It's like I know, like we need to do this, and get back, and that's the politics of it. Like
Yep.
policy doesn't not take into consideration the social emotional aspect. Is
Yeah.
like we have data, we have goal to achieve. In order to achieve, we need to do this. Like
Yeah.
because yeah, students are not learning in person, but right now people are trying to survive.
Yeah.
So
And COVID is still real. It's a real thing for a lot of
it is a
people.
real thing.
And I think about someone like you, right? Like you were in the ICU, bro. And then like if someone mentally it messes with you, so you're overly cautious, and then
Yeah.
you're forcing the kid to go back into school after they have seen like their grandparent pass away, or their mother or father in the
Yeah.
ICU because of it. It really takes We have to think about the mental health aspect of it, and like these things are real to these people.
Yeah.
It's not like kids actually want to be in school. You think
Oh.
parents want to keep their kids home just for the sake of it and
Yeah.
miss work? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. So like, I don't think I
I,
think people are making decisions and they're not boots on the ground.
well,
That's the
here's
thing.
again, not boots on the ground. No, don't have any experience with ours, like in our school, like
Yep.
and also it's politics, and it, I don't know. It's gonna take some time,
Mm-hmm.
especially when things were supposed to get better, when the
Yeah.
vaccine was supposed to prevent that, and there's an outbreak.
Yeah.
Like, and also talking about it affect their parents' job. They don't want to do that, but they have to. It's
Yeah.
survival. Like,
Yeah.
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 I just it's just and also it goes back to trust.
Mm-hmm.
The trust. How you commission it and you cannot put like I think it was a thing that says like they should have prepared for it better. But what
Yeah.
resource did you provide for them to prepare for it better?
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm on like it's just crazy. But I'm hoping that the Curly does get back into the swing of things, and
Yeah.
they could come to a consensus on the days and put the kids first. Um and like there's other and that's another thing. There's other ways to supplement the learning loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And by possibly offering stuff during the summer that will
You,
supplement that.
you know the best way to supplement learning loss? To actually teach life skills in school.
Yeah. Yeah,
Life
yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
Not hypothetical. Life
Right.
skills,
Yeah.
you know?
And this is a good learning experience too.
Yeah.
So, um, all right, next thing, because we could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
Um,
You know?
so as we know, and I know Rudy, you've been learning, reading about this too, is like there's been a massive amount of, I feel, at least to me, a massive amount of like violence and controversy and like arguments among in the schools as far as like student to student conflict, right? One of the articles that I was reading was about how it's not just the city of Boston or Boston Public Schools. It's across the whole Massachusetts, um, Brockton, um, I think it was Everett Public Schools, uh, everywhere. So they have noticed that there has been an uptick in violence in schools among students to students. Over the few weeks, we have seen. I think Lawrence Public Schools been on the news for a big brawl. Brockton Public Schools have been on the news. Even this one hit close to home. The Henderson principal was, assaulted by a student and knocked out. So there has been a lot of uptick in violence. And when reading various articles, I did notice that they would just talk about it, but this particular article talked about, how can we kind of combat this? And like you were saying before, the effects of COVID and not being in school, we're starting to see that now. So
Yeah.
how do we start doing that? One of the articles is that looking at the suspension or hearing student hearing meetings, because again, working in the school, we you have to, when students are getting suspended or we have a parent meeting, they're supposed to get a letter that goes home, and under the letter they have different codes. And when you give a student a letter, it's supposed to say your child is having a hearing based on violating this code of conduct or whatever.
Mhm.
So the article basically says like we should be looking at this data periodically, not just at the end of the year,
Hmm.
so that we can see where we can what we need to do to help students and solve these issues um in the uptick of violence right now, whether it's like hiring more counselors, hiring more social workers, and this, that, and the third. I just thought it was very interesting because I didn't think about using that data,
Yeah.
but I was just wondering like what else can we use to help solve these issues? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So first, I don't know what's in the water, but I do know what's in the water. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's so interesting because we were trying to figure out so many things, how to survive, how to make remote learning work, like
Mhm.
and there was a lot of like pumped up energy towards like there was a lot of stuff happening on social media that we
Yeah.
weren't aware of because we're not in those places. And
Yes.
now people are seeing each other and now like it's coming out. Um,
80% of the issues that we deal with in the school, social media.
social media, and so it kind of remember. I don't know if you remember that. I forgot in which city that started. There was a dad on duty. Um, they started a dad on duty,
Yep.
and and
Yes.
and the kids been behaving because like when your parents are there, like it's like I like a therapist one told me like kids react because uh, uh, uh kids do this the same thing they some stuff at school they wouldn't do at home because at home when they get the look you know not to test it but at school like
Yeah.
you may get the look but what you gonna do about it like it's like
Yeah.
that's the limit so
It was
there's
like a
definitely
group of dads, right?
yeah,
That
a
were
group of that coming and they take shift and they stay there and make sure and the kids are embracing it. It's like oh
right.
like like I don't want to be the one to start something. So that's definitely a thing that's working, and I know they're trying to expand to more city. But also think about the cost of learning in our system and the cost of uh like our like system because if we're talking about
Hmm.
all those situations that happen, we had to fight to figure out to create a new system to do remote learning because we weren't properly funded. Funding is at the source of all that because if you if you because counselors all those gonna require investment, right?
Right.
Already in the system who has not properly valued our student education.
Right.
So all those problems are created because the proper investment was not made. And now you have more. It's like the banded so you create banded solution, and then now all the ramification. Now you have to treat like you could have used. It's like a $10,000 solution versus now like $1 billion solution, like because you didn't attack the proper way. So it's crazy. Um, I know staff are not feeling safe right now, and
Students are not feeling safe either.
students, yes, students are not feeling safe. It's crazy because we did not see that one coming,
Hmm.
and it's just
I
like
was just like,
everywhere.
when I saw the Henderson school's principal,
Yeah,
like I was all like, all right, ain't
yeah,
nobody safe.
yeah,
Like, and anybody can catch these hands. Like,
yeah,
so I think that, and one of the things I wanted to touch on too is like, and I think we talked about it in a different episode. I forget which one because we got so many, but like what the pandemic has done to our problem solving skills with one another. We have been isolated for so long that we don't have those problem solving skills like our students. Like we don't know how to resolve conflict without throwing hands. You know what I mean?
mhm,
It's like we have a shorter fuse for nonsense where before, I could work with a student and we can have a mediation and, you know, but sometimes even with young black men
yeah,
or young men of color, you know it's hard for them to look you in the eye when you're talking to them,
yeah,
because they don't have one, sometimes they don't have that father figure at home, or
yeah,
they don't know how to build relationship with other men, and they don't know how to communicate, especially now since the pandemic. Like I'm working with 10th grade, right? But my 10th graders, they haven't been in school since, like, they're really ninth graders.
yeah,
And when they're ninth grade, they're really like eighth grade. So
yeah.
like the maturity level is lacking in that sense. They're doing so much better now, but it's taking a lot of work to
Mhm.
gain that way. So um it's just like there's a lot of different parts to trying to figure out how to help students. And to be honest, I think we just need more support in schools.
And that goes
um
back to the funding part because it
yeah.
requires funding, and You know, yeah, which so now that we have the our the city council has more power to and the budget, maybe like that will help, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of that, going into our third topic, question on on ballot on
The
question
question three
three
on the ballot, like, you know.
on the ballot.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
what was
passed. So
yeah.
excited about that. So it was brought back because Boston, the Boston School that became the state sole appointed in 1992, 3 years after voters narrowly passed a non-binding referendum to make the committee appointed. At the time, the Committee of Color and NCAA, they opposed the measure, but the
Mm-hmm.
mayor at the time, Raymond Flynn, and others were frustrated with the dysfunction and antics of the elections committee, which ran up, and we would talk about it, the
Yep.
city's annual budget and deficit. So it's all
Mm-hmm.
about the money.
Right.
So it's been a long conversation. I know it was proposed before to make because it's the only city in the state with an appointed school committee. So it's been a long conversation because even like during the before the election, we asked a couple of city officials, like, you know, like, what do you think about it? And um some of them were for fully, some of them for partially
Mm-hmm.
elected, because it's too much politics. And then we wanted it fully because right now we gearing towards a more involved and politically engaged community, and it's just like it feels like the people who were appointed weren't a true representation of us,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we want people who look like us, know how to struggle, know what we want, to represent us in those rooms. So with that, we can elect those people. And it goes back to, like, you know, the budget. They it's so interesting because they were
Yeah.
concerned about it running up the budget,
Right.
and then they taking funding away from us
Yeah.
because y'all, yeah, it's running up the budget and y'all not making any difference. And y'all, it's I just don't get it. But I'm excited. Um, I think the vote passed by 78.7%.
Yes,
So
sir.
the what is it? The 21.3%.
Yeah.
I don't
Said
know what y'all we said no, I don't know what y'all thinking. But yeah. This is exciting. This is exciting. This is a new
yeah.
day. That also means that the mayor is not solely in control of the system,
Yeah.
because so very often, every time, the education piece is the one that gets left behind.
Yeah.
Every time.
Everything else is fully funded. Like no.
Yeah, education is put on the back burner, and we wonder why all those we get all those ramification at the end. Invest in the future.
Yeah.
Invest in the future.
Yeah. One of the things I did want to say too is like I think it's good that, it's like the people are electing the school committee.
Yeah.
Um, because after seeing what happened last year with
Mm.
like
Mhm.
the different antics that was in the
Yeah.
school committee, the guy that was saying
Making fun
make,
about that kids.
yeah, making fun of their names, and then students coming forward with like them not being heard in the school committee
Yeah.
meetings, and then
It
like
was just a show. It was just for show.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
let's make them happy by giving them a spot, but it's no way.
And who were those people elected by? The mayor.
Yeah.
So like obviously it's some type of, it's mainly politics if you're being elected to,
Yeah. Appointed,
this,
appointed,
yeah,
appointed.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
appointed, correction,
Yeah.
appointed
Yeah. Yeah.
to those seats or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm just happy that, give the people a chance. I know that some politicians are worried that efficiency of the decision making might be, um, might be negative, or like you might be a holdup, because when the mayor has that power, it's more efficient supposedly. But when there should be a discussion, there should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
thought,
I,
you
I, I,
know.
I think, when you think about a good leader, it's not about who has the power, who can facilitate and delegate and
Yeah.
this thing,
And
because so maybe we got elected, like, there's a lot of work to be done, but
hmm
it's like she needs help. She's gonna need help. Like,
yeah,
we cannot wait for her to fail. Like, we a community, we have to work together. Even if you didn't vote for her, if you didn't want for her to win, right now this is where we at. If
yeah,
we all want a better Boston, let's all get involved. Let's all get to work.
yeah, yeah. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited to
And then
see what's
within
gonna
that too,
happen.
there was the question number one that we talked a little bit about the budget. Now
hmm
the city council have more input on how the budget is being distributed. So it's
Right.
not solely on the mayor to like, we're gonna put this budget there. Like, no. There's like more transparency and involvement in the budget.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And last thing before going into our mini break, um, shout out to Tech Boston, my school. Shout out to Mr.
What they
Tenuous.
do? What they do? Why we shouting out
Yo,
Boston?
city champ soccer team, the men's soccer team. They went
Y'all
to
finally won something?
yo, soccer team is legit, yo. Um, Shout out to Mr. Tenuous, coach of the year. We went to
Yeah.
so we won cities. We didn't win states, but a lot of our students made it to the all-star team anyway. But we won cities. So shout out to Mr. Tenuous and the whole boys soccer team. Congratulations, y'all.
All right.
Um,
Shout out to y'all.
yes, sir. TBA love, yo.
All right.
So with that, that concludes our views on the latest news. We will be right back with our main topic and discussion. So be right back.
Bye back, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with Straight Out of BPS podcast. Um, we have a new mayor,
Yes.
Michelle Wu, the first person of color to be elected mayor, the first woman, the first Asian American to be elected. She actually won by 91,000 votes. She actually
Crazy.
got more votes than any mayoral candidate since 1983, even more than Marty Walsh, former mayor Marty Walsh, and Memino ever received.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the people were ready for a change. And the city of Boston spoke. They came out, they spoke, and it's time to go to work.
Yeah. I think that, this is a great
Yeah,
time for there to be change. I'm just excited to have a fresh new face um in the city of Boston that has some power.
yeah.
I'm really interested to see what she's gonna do, and how she's gonna really shake up things. I've
She's
been
about to
here.
shake up. She's about to shake up thing. But before I said, I already knew she
Yep.
was gonna like when she came in as the first Asian American to be elected on the council, she
hmm
came in with a force, and
Yeah.
I know she can. What I like is like even like if you think about how she announced she was uh gonna run for mayor, like when she came into the council, she shook up things. She challenged the Marty Wash, and I think he told people that she was gonna run after,
hmm
like you have to inform people the mayor, like there's like politics. Hey, I'm gonna just giving you a courtesy call. I'm gonna run against you, and then the news was out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a new day in Boston.
Yep.
And let's get back to the before we get back to the shake of this, we also want to, so we had Rudy Jamari on the
Yeah.
podcast. We had Rudy Vision on the podcast. Shout out to them. Rudy went from making the council with one vote to second place, and about 500 vote away from first place on the council.
And can I just say something about her and Ruzi?
Yeah,
Like they are really in the community,
they
yo.
are.
They are
And
really in the
even
community.
after the election, so see who's in the community before and
Yes.
see who's in the community after. I think
After, yes.
what I like Julia, her thing all means all is that you cannot not get behind. Like, even Ruzi, like, Rose is the first Haitian American in the council, but when they come somewhere, they come in the room and they're like, "Hey, I'm ready to work for you. I'm ready
Yeah.
to serve for you," because
Yeah.
they leave our story and they the people you want in the room to represent. So I'm super excited for both of them. Second
Yeah.
and third place as a first time running,
Let's
and
go.
Bruce, he got like I think I might be not estimate like over 50,000 votes.
Yeah.
That was super dope. But yeah,
And if
um,
you haven't listened to those episodes, you got
yes,
to go back to the
got to
first season.
got to yeah, first season. So we're excited, and our part. So as much as we're excited about those people, um, there's the accountability piece. Like, now they have to deliver, and we need to
Yeah.
hold them accountable. Like,
Yeah.
so and we have to define what does accountability looks like. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're excited. But the mayor's gonna shake up things, right?
Yes.
So did you
Um,
see we have a free bus plan? Uh
yes.
Shifting it to 2 years. The 23rd, the 23 bus, the 29 and the 28. All
Hmm.
three bus who run through predominantly black and brown neighborhood.
Yeah. So
They
what does that mean, Rudy?
I mean, people are gonna be saving a lot of money. People are gonna be taking the bus more. And actually, I don't know if you see on the bus route,
Hmm.
like they have three I forgot the name of the street. Uh like I know some people, if you're a driver, you may not like it, but
Hmm.
the bus is way open. The bus lane is way open. Like
Hmm.
actually, the bus lane is actually in the middle, and then they run on the car. I'll run on the side. So
Yeah.
kind of like
I
from a
saw I saw it near Jackson.
yeah around that area.
Yeah.
So like bus, like it's super dope. I know people are talking about traffic. Actually, if anything, it kind of minimizes traffic because there's nobody to stop on the. We're gonna be
On
stopped.
the right hand side, right?
Yeah,
On
so
the
it's
left
like
hand
it's
side.
a free flowing
Yeah.
traffic, and nobody's gonna double park or create traffic.
Yeah.
And the bus actually can save time on the commute if you take the bus because it's like only it's a bus lane, bus bike lane on the middle. So
So you saying
yeah,
the bus is gonna be on time?
I mean, I'm not a spokesperson for the bus, but
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people are not for it, and I can understand why. But I feel like it's a compromise that you can give to
yeah.
public transportation. Yeah,
I also think, if we're going one of the, and I hate to get on my soapbox, but one of the forms of like racism, right? Or like, you know, is limiting like where we can go
yeah,
or how much money we spend on certain things.
yeah.
And like I think this is having a mayor for the people and really being for the
She
people.
takes the bus to work. She takes the train to
Bruh,
work. Like
yeah. So that's what I'm
I thought that
saying.
was sort of like so
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I'm on like giving
you gonna start
these
taking the train to work too, Jamal?
no. Um giving giving these black and brown communities or like a chance to have a
Yeah,
free bus and allowing them to save money to put towards
that's
something else.
major.
It's major, man.
Especially like the bus is like
The bus passes, you know how much it costs?
bro,
Bruh,
how much you remember when you were in high school? How much you remember paying for those bus passes?
I think it was like, well, when I was in school, it was free, but during the summer, I had to buy like a bus pass or whatever,
Yeah.
um, even the student bus passes were like maybe $50. And back then,
50?
yeah, like
I
maybe
don't
40.
remember. I think I used to get a because here's the thing, that bus thing, I hated it in high school because I didn't have a free bus because I
I
think
had a free bus, bro.
there's a range of mile that you need to leave away from the school to get those free bus pass.
Yep.
I was point 2 miles outside that range.
Yeah,
That point 2 mile caused me not to get a bus pass.
that's crazy.
Point 2 miles
That's
outside
crazy.
of the range. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah,
So yeah, so I was if I can remember, maybe like, I don't know. I think I remember buying like maybe like $15 for a 7 day.
yeah, that was it, and that's expensive
Yeah,
every week.
yeah. But
And
now, how much a 7 day pass cost right now?
oh, I don't even know.
Yeah,
Hold on, that's kind of crazy though. Like I remember just paying that much for a bus pass, and I was just like, bro, I'm a student.
yeah. Oh, 7 day bus pass is actually $22.50.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
And like she's
That's-
helping people.
and then yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's helping people to
yeah.
kind of save that money and
The
like you
1 day pass is 12.75. Almost what? Yo, that's crazy. Yeah,
just a 1 day pass.
12, yeah, 12.75.
Like you can nah, nah.
Yeah,
So I appreciate
yeah,
um Miss Wu for doing that.
yeah,
Mayor Wu for doing that because I'm hoping that it can cause some real change and cause families to save some money and put it towards something else.
yeah,
Even if you put that $22 or whatever in the account, kids can save for college. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Over years, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I'm excited to see what else she can do and what she's bringing towards the table. At least for me, I know that there are a lot of people worried about her politics,
Yeah.
which
What else is the politics that people are worried about?
I think things like this, shaking it up like a free
It's
bus.
things need to be shaken up.
Yeah.
Th-
So
What
and
we what were we marching for? What were
right,
we protesting for?
right, right. So I just say just like we gave Marty Walsh a chance, like we gave Menino a chance, and what's the other guy? Flynn something.
Yeah, but we're in the future. I don't want to talk about the past.
Yeah. So I'm just saying like
Yeah,
give her a chance. And then if you don't agree with some of her politics,
91,000 people agree
right,
for politics.
right,
Not part of the 91,000. It's okay, but
yeah. But
yeah,
I just hope that we can like have a conversation
yeah,
or like make your voice heard. Don't just automatically write her off. Um,
yeah. I think there was some other things that people were um worried about, right? Because I
like
know it's the she's gonna shake up things. Oh, I know some people don't what do you call that? The defunding the police, removing police from
yeah,
school.
yeah,
So it's interesting because back again, what were we marching for? What were we protesting for?
yeah,
Because what we have wasn't working.
yeah,
We had a reactive solution.
yeah,
We need to invest in proactive solution. And change is scary.
yep,
And and it's gonna take everyone to buy in to make it work.
yeah,
But we cannot stay in system and protest on the system and be afraid to change them because it's our comfort level.
yeah.
Like
And I
I understand, like being in a school and sometimes there's gang affiliation in the school. You want the police to protect you,
yeah,
right? That's your first thing. You like, I want the police, but the police are not gonna here to protect you. The police are respond to event that happened after. right?
Yeah.
So the proactive solution, that's
Mm-hmm.
what we need to invest. That's what she's gonna commit to, and that's what we need to hold her accountable, because
Yeah.
she 91,000 people voted for her. She presented, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do, and
Yeah.
91,000 people agree.
Right.
And now we need to hold her accountable to those things to
Yeah.
deliver. Like, and yes, she's gonna take this, and because things gonna take, it's try and error. Let's figure out something. But a lot of things that we had put in place in the system
Mm-hmm.
wasn't working for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's we can have a whole topic on
Yeah.
the school police joint. And I have my own thoughts about that because working in a school and seeing how, you know, things have worked.
Yeah.
Um, do like for me, I'm like, if we can find a way to, move around funds to integrate, and it's not called school police anymore, it's called school safety. Um, and like they change their uniforms and stuff like that, and cool. But I think the one thing that is kind of harming us is that we have these two separate entities, right? Like there's school and then school safety or school police or whatever you want to call it. We need to learn how to integrate it and invite them to be a part of the community so that you're not having school police like put their knees on the student's neck. You're less likely to do that if you actually have a relationship with the student and know that you're gonna hurt them, right? So I'm just like, if
Why
we
can
can learn,
school why can school police be also like, like if you're trying to find a way, okay, like, let's say defend the police, like having them be part of the with build relationship with the kids, like,
Mhm.
they're not just here the person, like you don't know the person, all you see is that like a prison guard sitting in a corner, like
Yeah.
watching for you making any wrong decision to come. You don't know their name, you don't know what they do, they're not open to you, there's no relationship, like, nobody
Mhm.
wants that person in the building.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
police, if police wants to be part of the system, they need to be trained to be educators.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they need to, and those are the reactive part. And also that's what, like, the reactive solution is that if we invest in the reactive solution, we will not need the police, because as of right now, until the police prove otherwise, it yeah, they protect to serve, but they protect to serve after the fact, not
Hmm.
before.
Yeah. And
So
believe it or not, the way things are looking now, there's not much police can do right now
yeah.
in the school unless shit hit the fan.
Okay, so what do you call when shit hit the fan?
Um, like when there's a fight that is uncontrollable and like
You call
it
the
spurs,
you call the
huh?
police when shit hit the fan. You call the police.
Right, right.
So who do you call before shit hit the fan?
Before counselors or social workers or um my like the dean of discipline and
Think
stuff like
about think. Let's it's like we're talking about, okay, what's next for Boston,
that.
and
Mhm.
like, people, there's gonna be a lot of things shaking up, and you like
Yeah,
trying to find system that works.
yeah.
Okay, think about, like, a counselor working with a student, and they have history and things with the student, and the student that day happened to have a bad day, and any other day they would have called the police. you
Hmm.
know Maybe the police need to be called, but
Right.
the police will work in tangent with the council. Hey, this is what's going on, this is what we're gonna, they have information, they have detailed information and assess the situation, because the
Yeah,
reason why police come in like gun blazing is because it's a defense, because they don't know what's going. They
yeah,
come like blind, they don't know what's coming. But when
yeah.
you come in with information,
It's totally different.
totally
Yeah,
different response.
yeah. And that's
Totally
why
different.
that's why with school safety at my school, like, are they perfect? Not they're not all perfect, but I have formed a relationship with them where I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, the student's cool, like this, that, and the third. Or I would warn them like, hey, he's a little bit out of control, but I think I can calm him down. Just stand by just in case, like, you know what I mean? So we have that relationship, and we are kind of like at the point where, we're working together with the school community. And I think that if we're not just always calling school police, but you know, having them, invested in the community, it works, bro. It works. And I think, and from talking from some school police or school safety, they also feel like they have a target on their back because, they're like, nobody wants us here, like this, that, and the third. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's like there's been a bad history with things that have been going on. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think there's a misunderstanding on both
so the
hands.
part of not wanting them there, right? Because I can see why. Because if
Yeah.
you're here, you just here to police me around, then I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it. Because even when nothing is happening, you're not doing any action. You're just sitting in the corner and you're not doing any action, anything to build relationship with me, to get to
Right.
be able to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So like, and then it's like this thing like when they're in the school, like the police is to be scary. You need to be scared of the police. That's the reputation they build. So if you're
Yeah.
scared of the police, then you will not do stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's scared of the police.
Right.
Nobody's scared of the police, right?
I am. I am.
Nobody is. Like because like I know what you're saying, like in the
Yeah.
situation. But if you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna stay here, like me mugging and just not building is just like any rapport. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be scared if you. I'm gonna be scared if a gun is pointed at me. But
Right. Right.
until
Yeah.
then, I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna say, hey, you've been here, and then you never build rapport with any students here.
Yeah.
You're not part of it, so every adult who worked in education, from the head of school principal to the cleaning staff,
Yeah.
the police need to have rapport with the school with the
Yeah.
students.
Yep.
Like, because you guys are working in tandem to provide a great learning environment,
Yeah.
clean space,
Yep.
healthy and good food,
Mm-hmm.
curriculum that promotes students what I'm looking for, curriculum that promotes students heritage and culture,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what it should look like, right? And I think like this is just such a big topic that are I wish I knew if like these political offices are not just being reactionary, but actually having fruitful conversations
yeah,
on not just like defunding the police, right? But like defunding the police, what does that look like? And then defunding the police, like where's that extra money going? And then like how do we educate school police or school safety or police officers to engage with the community in a better way?
yeah.
And I hope Michelle Wu, just to bring it back to her, right, that she's able to
It's Mayor Wu, sir. Put some
oh,
respect on
my
the
bad. Mayor
yeah.
Wu, Mayor Wu, like I hope she like has those conversations and like invite people from the community to
Yeah.
have those conversations from both sides, not just the school
I,
side.
I am pretty sure, and again, like I know, ever since defunding the police giving thing, all people can think about, oh, they're gonna take money away from police to, and then the police to.
That's
So,
not what it's all about, right?
so
Like,
okay, we talk about like okay, we how many times have we heard that police getting in trouble because of overtime scam? Yet we have a problem with defunding the police.
right.
So
State
so let's say we
troopers.
take some money away from the scamming. I don't see any issue with that. I feel
Yeah.
like people are stuck in those words and they're not ready to. So like I say, like the world is not just white and black. There's
Yeah.
a gray area, and that's where more of the work comes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
just because you cannot compare and contrast two things, like it's just like the gray area. So Some of it is black and white. Some
Mm-hmm.
of it is black and white. Ended. There's no argument, black or white, 1 or 0.
Right.
But there is some part is the gray, but people
Right.
also stuck on the black and white. There's some situation you need the gray area. Okay, like it's a lot of work, and I'm excited.
Me
uh,
too.
and the election is done.
Yep.
The work begins, and guess what? Next year, guess what's coming? State election,
Let's
governor.
go.
We talk about here's something I learned. Like, no matter what we do, that's the control shit.
Right. Yeah.
So we need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Sad.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Because I'm all like, even from what we talked about on the views on the latest news, I'm all like, we gotta get approval, like the health of students and families and all that. And you're saying no?
The more you know,
Yeah.
the more you know. Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
like some of the the principals are like, yo, we need to shut this down. Like we cool. And Dusty's like, nah, you gotta stay open.
Yeah.
Nah, forget that.
Yeah.
So that's for another episode,
Woo.
man.
We back. We back.
We are back and we're back with a vengeance, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this is Straight Out of BPS. We will see y'all for another episode. Straight Out of BPS, y'all.
Podcast. Thank you
Peace out.
again. I appreciate you guys. See you guys next time.
Yes, sir.